Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, text 35. Dhruv Uvacha,
Dhruv Uvacha,
Soyam Shamo Bhagavata,
So'am Shamo Bhagavata,
Sukha Dukha Hatatmanam,
Sukha Dukkha Hatatmanam,
Darshita Kripaya Pumsam,
Darshita
Darshita
Kripaya
Kripaya
Pumsam
Pumsam,
Darsho Asmad Vidhestu Yaha,
Durdashaha
Durdasho Asmat
Asmat Vidhestu
Videshuya.
Yaha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Dhruv Maharaj said, My dear Lord Naradji, for a person whose heart is disturbed by the material conditions of happiness and distress, whatever you have so kindly explained for attainment of peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm covered by ignorance. And this kind of philosophy does not touch my heart. So yesterday we heard Naradji was telling Dhruv, you meet somebody superior, instead of getting envious, we should get pleased. When we meet someone who's less qualified than us, instead of deriding them, we show them compassion just to bring them to the proper standard. We meet someone who's an equal, instead of becoming proud of our activities, we should make friends with them, have friendly relationship with them. So now Dhruv is telling him, Narad Muni, it's a very great philosophy, but I'm in ignorance and my mind is really, really disturbed. So I won't be able to follow this instruction. Shows how honest Dhruv Maharaj is being here. He's honestly saying, my mind is like going crazy. So I won't be able to follow what you're telling me to do. There are various classes of men. One class is called akamis, referring to those who have no material desire. Desire must exist, either material or spiritual. Material desire arises when one wants to satisfy one's personal senses. One who is ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be said to have spiritual desire. So we can never become desireless. If we say we want to give up all desires, that itself is a desire. Oh, that I have a desire to give up all desires. But then that's a desire too. So again, we are being attached to that desire. So desires we will have, whether material or spiritual. Prabhupada is explaining that what is material desire when we want to please ourselves, and spiritual desire is when we are willing to do anything to please Krishna. Dhruv did not accept the instruction given by the great Saint Narad because he thought himself unfit for such instruction, which prohibited all material desires. It is not a fact, however, that those who have material desires are prohibited from worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the essential instruction from the life of Dhruva. He frankly admitted that his heart was full of material desires. He was very much affected by the cruel words of his stepmother, whereas those who are spiritually advanced do not care about anyone's condemnation or adoration. So, Dhruva, he's really being honest that my mind is going crazy because of what my stepmother told me, and I won't be able to look at everyone with such a equal vision. I'm not there. I'm not there, so I won't be able to do it. My heart is full of material desires. So we can learn from here, because we have so many material desires. And then when the mind is crazy, we are not able to follow any kind of philosophy. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the persons who are actually advanced in spiritual life do not care for the dual behavior of this material world. But Dhruv Maharaj frankly admitted that he was not beyond the affliction of material distress and happiness. He was confident that the instruction given by Narad was valuable, yet he could not accept it. The question raised here is whether or not a person afflicted by material desires is fit to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The answer is that everyone is fit to worship him. So it doesn't mean that because we are full of material desires, we cannot worship Krishna, we cannot approach him, we cannot hear about him, or we cannot chant his names. On the contrary, we should hear and chant more regularly. Even if one has many material desires to fulfill, he should take to Krishna consciousness and worship the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is so merciful that he fulfills everyone's desires. So we are going to so many different personalities for the fulfillment of our desires. But the one personality who can fulfill all our desires, that is Sri Krishna. Through this narration, it will become very clear that no one is barred from worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if one has many material desires. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that 4 types of pious living entities come to me. The seeker of, the one who is in distress, the one who wants wealth, the one who's inquisitive, and the one who's seeking knowledge. So Krishna says, all these kind of living entities who have this kind of desire and that they are pious, they approach Krishna. And Dhruv is the example of the seeker of wealth. And he got perfection. Athapi me vinitasya
Athapi me
अथापि मे
vinitasya
अभिनित्य
shatram goram upeyushaha
Shatram
शास्त्रं
Goram
घोरम्
Upeyusha
उपेयुष
suruchya durvacho baner
Suruchya
सुरुचिया
Durvacho
दुर्वचः
Vani
वाणी
na bhinne shrayate hridi.
Na
न
Binne
भिन्ने श्रयते
Shrayate
हृदि.
Vidhi.
My dear Lord, I'm very impudent for not accepting your instructions. But this is not my fault. It is due to my having been born in a Kshatriya family. My stepmother Suruchi has pierced my heart with her harsh words. Therefore, your valuable instruction does not stand in my heart. So Dhruv is very practical about his position. He's very honest. He's accepting that, okay, I'm from a Kshatriya family. I have this Kshatriya spirit where somebody is going to insult me and I'm going to get irritated. It's going to pierce my heart, and that's what's happened. So he's accepting it, and he is honestly um, informing to Narad Muni. It is said that the heart or mind is just like an earthen pot. Once broken, it cannot be repaired by any means. Dhruv Maharaj gave this example to Narad Muni. He said that his heart, having been pierced by the arrows of his stepmother's harsh words, felt so broken that nothing seemed valuable but his desire to counteract her insult. So the heart or the mind is compared to an earthen pot, and that when it's broken, it cannot be repaired. And this is what Dhruv is telling to Narad Muni, that my heart is completely pierced. And now the only thing that I find that I need to do is I have to counteract her insult. His stepmother had said that because he was born from the womb of Suniti, a neglected queen of Maharaja Tanpad, Dhruv Maharaj was not fit to sit either on the throne or on his father's lap. In other words, according to his stepmother, he could not be declared king. Dhruv Maharaj's determination, therefore, was to become king of a planet exalted even beyond that possessed by Lord Brahma. the greatest of all the demigods. So he's like, okay, my stepmom is saying I can't be king. I'm gonna get a kingdom which is even greater than my great-grandfather. Lord Brahma is his great-grandfather, you know. Dhruv Maharaj indirectly informed the great sage Narad that there are four kinds of human spirit: the Brahmanical spirit, the Kshatriya spirit, the Vaishya spirit, and the Shudra spirit. The spirit of one caste is not applicable to the members of another. The philosophical spirit enunciated by Narad Muni might have been suitable for a Brahmana spirit, but it was not suitable for a Kshatriya. Dhruv frankly admitted that he was lacking in Brahmanical humility and was therefore unable to accept the philosophy of Narad Muni. So the guna that we are born with, that is what decides our this varna. It's not based on birth, basically. It's the qualities that we have. Dhruv is saying, I have this Kshatriya spirit. I do not have this Brahmanical quality of humility. So based on our position, we do have certain qualities. We just have to be realistic about them. What a Brahmana may do, we may not be able to do it because we are not in that position. The statements of Dhruv Maharaj indicates that unless a child is trained according to his tendency, there is no possibility of his developing his particular spirit. It was the duty of the spiritual master or teacher to observe the psychological movement of a particular boy and thus train him in a particular occupational duty. Dhruv Maharaj, having already been trained in the Kshatriya spirit, would not accept the Brahmanical philosophy. So the Vedic society, the spiritual master would train the child based on his psychological behavior. Not that everyone should become a Brahmana or everyone should become a Kshatriya or everyone a Vaishya or Shudra. That's what we are trying to do now. That we go to school and everyone has to study the same thing in the same way. But in the Vedic times, it was based on the tendency of the child. What is his particular tendency? So Dhruv Maharaj was already already trained in the Kshatriya spirit. So he's saying, suddenly you want me to act like a Brahmana? I'm not able to do it. I'm not trained for it. In America, we have practical experience of this incompatibility of the Brahminical and Kshatriya temperaments. The American boys, who have simply been trained as Shudras, are not at all fit to fight in battle. Therefore, when they are called to join the military, they refuse because they do not have Kshatriya spirit. This was the time when the Vietnam War was going on, and then the people had to be drafted into the military, but many of the young men, they didn't want to. So this is because there was no Kshatriya spirit in them. This is the cause of great satisfaction in society. That the boys do not have the Kshatriya spirit does not mean that they are trained in Brahmanical qualities. They are trained as Shudras. And thus, in frustration, they are becoming hippies. So Prabhupada is pointing out to why so many young men became hippies. They gave up everything because they didn't want to be drafted in the military. They were not trained to be fighters, to be martially spirited. However, as soon as they enter the Krishna consciousness movement being started in America, they are trained to meet the Brahminical qualifications, even though they have fallen to the lowest conditions as Shudras. But Prabhupada was training them to become Brahmanas, to take up Krishna consciousness. In other words, since the Krishna consciousness movement is open for everyone, people in general can attain the Brahminical qualifications. This is the greatest need at the present moment. For now, there are actually no Brahmanas or Kshatriyas but only some Vaishyas and for most part Shudras. So in Kali Yuga, there are no like really Brahmanas, Kshatriyas. Majority of the people are Shudras, some are Vaishyas. So we have to be trained. We are Bhagavatam says we are born Shudras, then we have to be trained to rise to the standard of a Brahmana. The classification of society into Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras is very scientific. In the human social body, the Brahmanas are considered the head, the Kshatriyas are the arms, the Vaishyas are the belly, and the Shudras are the legs. At the present moment, the body has legs and a belly, but there are no arms or head, and therefore society is topsy-turvy. So the Brahmanas are called the head of the social order. Why? Because they would be the person who's guiding the kings, the leaders, how to lead, what policy should they adopt. Because everything was done with keeping in mind that so that people could be happy in this life, at the same time advance in spiritual knowledge. And so the kings, the Kshatriyas, they are the arms because they protect, and they would rule under the guidance of the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas would be the most intelligent class of society, and they would be the counselors to the kings. It is necessary to re-establish the Brahmanical qualifications in order to raise the fallen human society to the highest standard of spiritual consciousness. So Prabhupada is pointing out the need here to revive the Brahmanical culture, to revive the Brahmanical qualities so that the society can again become peaceful. So that they, because right now we can see, we see how there's wars, and then there is so much unrest everywhere, and inequality. So that's because we have fallen from the Brahmanical culture. Reading on, Padam Tri Bhuvanot Kritsam
Padam Tribhuvano Utkrishtam
Jigisho Sadhu Vartamame
Jigisho
Jigiso
Sadhu Vartamame
Sarvatmai
Bruhi Asmat Pitribhir Brahman
Bruhi Asmat Pitrabhi Brahman
Anyer Api Anadishtitam.
Anye Api Anidhishtitam.
O learned Brahmana, I want to occupy a position more exalted than any yet achieved within the three worlds by anyone, even by my father and grandfather. If you will oblige, kindly advise me of an honest path to follow by which I can achieve the goal of my life. Sorry. When Dhruv Maharaj refused to accept the Brahmanical instruction of Narad Muni, naturally the next question would be, what sort of instruction he wanted? So even before Narad Muni asked, Dhruv Maharaj expressed his heartfelt desire. So now Narad Muni gave him the instruction. Dhruv is saying, no, I'm not going to accept. But now Dhruv is saying, what I want is this, I want a very great kingdom. His father, of course, was the emperor of the entire world, and his grandfather, Lord Brahma, was the creator of the universe. So Dhruv Maharaj expressed his desire to possess a kingdom better than those of his father and grandfather. He frankly stated that he wanted a kingdom which had no competitor within the three worlds, namely the higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. So he's a small boy of 5 years old, and he's like felt so insulted that he says, I want to have a kingdom which is the best in this entire universe. The greatest personality within this universe is Lord Brahma, And Dhruv Maharaj wanted a position even greater than his. He wanted to take advantage of Narad Muni's presence because he knew very well that if Narad Muni, the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna, could bless him or show him the path, then certainly he would be able to occupy a more exalted position than any person within the three worlds. Thus, he wanted help from Naradji to achieve that position. Dhruv Maharaj wanted a position greater than that of Brahma. This was practically an impossible proposition, but by pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee can achieve even the impossible. Because Dhruv Maharaj, Dhruv, he's just 5 years old boy. And he's saying, I want something better than what Lord Brahma has. Lord Brahma is the most qualified. If we search in this entire universe, Lord Brahma is the most qualified. And that's the reason he's occupying the post of Brahma. Dhruv, at 5 years old, he's saying, I want to be better than Lord Brahma. So it's quite an impossible thing to do. But for the Supreme Lord, there's nothing impossible. So that's why he wants the mercy of the Lord. One particular point mentioned here is that Dhruv Maharaj wanted to occupy an exalted position, not by hook or by crook, but by honest means. Yeah, he says that honestly how I can do it. Not having some, in the heart when we have some duplicity or something else in the heart. No, but he's saying, honestly, I want. This indicates that if Krishna offered him such a position, then he would accept it. That is the nature of a devotee. He may desire material gain, but he accepts it only if Krishna offers it. Dhruv Maharaj was sorry to refuse the instruction of Narad Muni. Therefore, he requested him to be merciful to him by showing a path by which he could fulfill his mind's desires. Did anyone want to add or comment anything to what we have read?
I'm just wondering that how intelligent he is. He's just 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know that at 5 years, the kids are honest. The honesty is there, their quality, yes. But even how intelligent with logic he has his. So that's why he's called Dhruv Maharaj. Even we are reading it as Dhruv Maharaj. So
Yeah, true. You're pointing out you're pointing out something. Yeah, intelligent. So intelligent. True.
like he knows it. He knows. He knows what to ask from a guru. Right? Like though he's asking material thing, but he's honest. And that is the quality of a child. He's 5 year old. He's being so honest.
Well, yeah, and his intelligence is because he knows that God can give him.
Give him,
That's
yes.
his
Right.
intelligence. Krishna can give him. Because even like Suniti was telling him that people try to get the material desires fulfilled by approaching demigods, but they are less intelligent. But the more intelligent approach the Supreme Lord directly, approach Krishna directly. So he is intelligent, as you're saying. He's taken up the instruction of his mother nicely.
And you say that King Uttanpad, he was the king of the universe. You mean the entire universe?
He was the emperor of the
Yeah.
Uttanpad was the emperor of the universe. Yeah, right? That's
So
what we read
universe
just now, right?
so in the material world.
Yeah, in the material world.
So that means what Dhruv Maharaj is asking, it's something more. So that means then it'll definitely be in the spiritual kingdom. Then.
Oh, you're very intelligent. You are really very intelligent. Exactly. That's what he's
Right?
asking for.
He's
Yes,
asking for that then.
exactly. And that's what the pole star is. He gets the pole star, and the pole star is a Vaikuntha planet within the universe. It's a spiritual planet within
Within the
this
universe.
material universe.
Right.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, we are
And
gonna
how
read
a
that because
5-year-old can be so intelligent. That's true.
yeah, 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 we are
Not
gonna
an
see
ordinary
because
child.
yeah, exactly. That's why he's mentioned here in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are reading about him.
Mm.
Yeah, because that's where Shvetadvip is. This is what he's asking. We're gonna be reading, and that's where Shirodakshay Vishnu stays in Shvetadvip. So yeah, he wanted. He got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Spiritual planet in this material world.
And then even by reading this, like there is a falshruti. Like, so then again, being so merciful, even if we read this, then there is a falshruti always of the stories also. So like everything is so I don't know what the exact word is, but like Vismay, oh my god, I'm just in so much that anything connected to Krishna is so beautiful and so life changing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. So that's why we continue to hear Bhagavatam. Gives us the spiritual benefit.
I like the
It's
description of how it's explained that Brahmanical qualities, right? Like um, the Brahma, Brahmacharya, that is the head, and then the
the Brahman as the
Kshatriya,
head.
Brahmanas are the head, the Kshatriyas, the arms, like so well, the way it's described. And it does make sense. Yeah, true. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it's true.
Then
And the Vaishyas are the belly, They are
belly,
into
yeah,
agriculture, cow
agriculture.
protection,
Yeah.
trading, belly, and then the Shudras, the
So
other
the other
legs.
legs, because they are like laborers, right? They work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So very scientific, right? That's what
Very
Krishna has made everything very scientifically, very logic. Everything is logical.
logic. Yeah, true. Mhm.
And I also wanted to say, like as you mentioned this, there was a movie. You remember there was a purge hunter. They used to give, like they were assigned their jobs by uh, as they used to study, and when they grew up to a level, this is a Hollywood movie, then they were assigned that would they be going to the military, would they be going to the gardening and the crop and farmer field, would they be going to the intelligence, or would they be going to, yeah, like housing, cleaning and everything. So there were these four. They were not definitely named that, they were named differently, but they used to do that.
Mm.
So they had made this there was a movie upon this, and then yeah, people could relate to it. And it was a hit movie, and after that it was said that yes, this should be the way. So that means that what there was in the Vedic culture, that was perfect,
Mm.
because people are longing. They said that yes, if I'm a medical student and if I like medicine, then I should be in the intelligent group of scientists and the creators, that everybody's doing that. Then why I should be, cleaning the house?
Yeah. Yeah. To get training as per our
Gunas.
psychophysical natures. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the exact word they also used, and they did the testing of the at a particular age, and they got to know that what's inside her and something. Yeah, that was this movie. So when you're mentioning this, that just struck that, yeah, we watched it. It was long back.
Hollywood movie.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood movie. I'll just find the name also with my husband. I'm forgetting it.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
yeah. So
Interesting.
that means that it's a successful thing.
Yeah, because we have to accept each of us have an individual nature. And we have to accept it and work according to it. This is what the whole Bhagavad Gita is all about. Krishna is telling Arjuna that you are a Kshatriya. Arjun said, I'm going to go to the forest and live by begging. So he was saying, okay, it's okay, I'm going to become a Brahmana. But Arjuna is saying, by your nature, you will act anyways. Now you are refusing to fight. But because you have this nature, you will end up later on to fight. So you better fight now when you're needed to. Do your duty. Yeah, that's the whole premise of the Bhagavad Gita, that we do have this um the nature that we have, and then we do our duty, whatever prescribed duty we have, for the satisfaction of Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.